All right, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. Today's video is going to be pretty short and to the point. Now, the biggest thing going into today was the 18,707 level on the daily. It was your previous high that you had back here in March. And as you can see, it's kind of where we got into with the beginning of trading this morning. We come into it, we test it, reject for about two and a half hours, and then push to the downside. But overall, things to kind of consider is that you're making higher lows here. That's the first good news overall from this as well. We go to the hourly, great reaction from those lows as well. And if we look at what's really happening here as far as volume on that other side of the book here, I mean, not bad. So again, let's really dissect what happened on the day. I just want to do this really quickly on NQ, and then we're going to go into volume because, again, the volume tells you the story. So a better part of the day was spent, obviously, on the downside or sideways chop, right? Initial part of the day, you had good volume. You can see pretty decent volume for the first 30 minutes of trading. Obviously falls off a cliff with no real surges. The volume on SPY on the day was around 37, 38. And in the after hours, we'll get to probably like 40 million. So 40 million on volume. It's worth mentioning 30% of your volume came in the first 30 minutes of trading. That's absurd. That should not, I mean, that's just like very telling with the direction that we're getting here. Now, I'll be the first one to say you don't have to have crazy volume to move, but if you're getting a breakout in a direction and then volume stalls, it should tell you something, right? So those are things to be considering right now. Now, obviously, you're bouncing back. So going back to the 2 hour, what I'm looking at right now, okay, is you're making higher lows since obviously we had that nice dip from Friday. You dipped, bounced right back up, pretty awesome. Now, the other side of this too, like I mentioned yesterday, was the OPEC meeting, okay? The OPEC meeting was pretty wild, right? So if you don't know, Goldman Sachs basically said Brent crude could drop down to $75 from its original target. So we go look at Brent and what's happening there. Again, not a good look. Brent futures, oil, right, dropping from 83 on Wednesday of last week to right now at $78. You can't even look at U.S. oil. WTI crude didn't even trade today. No idea what's happening here. But you go into crude oil futures, those are also down, getting hammered. Again, this is what I've been saying that we have to focus on here, right? So again, we want to be able to see this. I really have no idea why U.S. crude is not showing up. It's pissing me off today. But this is probably below the 200 SMA if I had to guess, right? Because this is only showing Friday's action. So again, I have to use the crude chart to kind of guess what's happening here. But again, you are rejecting off the 200 daily on crude and dropping pretty aggressively on the day. Now, why is this important? Because going into inflation numbers, oil has been the leading indicator of when inflation is either surging or dropping, right? And oil is dropping fast here, right? Based on that OPEC meeting. Very good for inflation numbers that will come out shortly, right? Not this week. I believe next week is our next set of data numbers that will come out. But again, this will ensue into the rest of summer, which will be pretty good overall for us in the broad scheme of things. So definitely things that I'm looking at right now. Okay, DXY also dropping. So I want to make sure we're going over this before I go over too much else, right? The dollar dropping, another risk on indicator. We should be putting money into the market. Money's flowing back into the market most likely. Not U.S. oil, U.S. the 30-year yields, right? What's happening there? Again, another big risk on indicator, dropping back down. We're looking for this. Usually lags a little bit behind the dollar, but dropping as well. Very bullish in my opinion here. Again, these are all the same things we've been watching for weeks now, and they're finally playing out here. I think right now, this is my opinion, I am very bullish, okay? All you're waiting for right now, you got the test of a resistance level, is the break, retest, and continuation. After you get that, I think it's over. I think you're running. It's easy. We're going to highs. Personal opinion. I feel very confident in that. And I feel like if you guys have been on the channel, I haven't been this confident in a while, so take it as you will.
And now let's briefly talk about my favorite investing app and the sponsor of today's video. If you're interested in trading the exact same broker in which I'm using for options and what I'm doing market research on, this is exactly who I'm using. This is Moomoo. This is their platform on their desktop. You can also check it out for the mobile app as well. This is their live news feed. And if you're thinking about making the switch, right now is a pretty good time because right now they're doing a 1.5% cash reward up to $300 if you transfer in. Or if you're just getting started and you want to kickstart your journey, Moomoo is giving you 5 in each of the Magnificent 7 stocks when you make a qualified bonus. You can go down and scroll and see all of this. It's right there on their website. Check them out. The link is down below.
Okay, so we attacked futures. What's happening here? I'll go over SPY, give you some levels. You held right at your key level, 524, held at your level there. We go into Qs. Guess what? You held 449. All of our levels are holding. Okay. I don't know how else to say this. You look great. You look phenomenal. You look really, really good broad markets right now. So I want to make sure that is known, that is clear. There's nothing for us to overlook or underlook here. You look really good. And then we go into other areas of the market here, like semiconductors, SMH, bouncing, holding your level. NVIDIA, despite the weakness on the day, NVIDIA is green, almost 5% on the day, trying to break out here. I'm telling you guys, I think this is I'm very, very, very bullish here. I cannot say this any more clearly. I love the way that we're moving here, and I think you're getting major opportunity. You just got to wait for that confirmation on NQ. So I'm going to go into my favorite equities, favorite things I'm liking really quickly, and I'll get you out of here. Now, number one, I think AMD. AMD back above 164.5. It's a buy in my opinion. It looks really good. You obviously had a nice gap up, and then you dip back down. I think it looks good overall still, but be watching that. Favorite stock overall here is Apple. I've been saying this one for a while now, so I want to make this super clear. So something that I was saying here on Apple, and I've been posting this on Twitter. If you're not following on Twitter, I recommend doing so. You get all these updates. It's absolutely free if you're not in Discord, right? So again, I've been saying it. You're breaking out. If you're sitting triangle, mounting that 193 level, looking like you're going to start getting that push into 196.5, in my opinion. Very strong. I misspoke about WWDC this week. It's going to be next week, so make sure you're paying attention for that as well. Very bullish here on Apple as well. Cannot say it any stronger. I think you look very good. Finally getting the breakout move that you wanted and have been looking for. So definitely keep this on your watch list. Also, Amazon coming back into play. Strong bounce above 180. You look really good as well there. Another name to be watching. But for something like Apple, if I'm looking at options, I really do like the June 21st calls. I think those make sense. If you want less risk, you can go for something like July 19th, about 45 days out going into tomorrow. I really think, to be safe, I'd go with something closer to at the money, like 195s, but I think the 200s are in play here with some volatility that will ensue. Again, I think you're pushing into 196, 197. That's my personal opinion, so stay on track there. Very cheap still, makes a lot of sense. I've been saying these for a while, so make sure you're watching. A little bit further, again, like AMD, I think this is where you're getting the value here. Personal opinion there. AMD contracts, very cheap as well. You can do something like either the July 21st or July 19th, or go a little bit sooner, closer dated, like the 21st. 21st, very cheap. But again, I'd be playing at the money, like the 165s, trying to ride those back into your key level, trading that range. AMD's been very easy, like I've said, above 168.5, nice little push. But when you get below that, back into 164.5, above 164.5, back into 168.5. It's been very easy back and forth. No reason to overcomplicate it. Definitely, keep that really simple. Also, you guys, I know you had your GME today. You had Roy and Kitty, like $200 million in GameStop. Crazy. Not going to cover that today, but could be interesting, especially if those options get in the money and hold, which they are in the money right now, but definitely worth mentioning. Netflix, also really interesting here. You had a downside trade opportunity, but you kind of just held here at the end of the day, bouncing, something that I was looking for. If you can continue this type of bounce, I do think you look good. You want to get back above like 642, 643 for me. You get back above that, you can start pushing back up. Netflix has been a monster. It's been a beast. Definitely keep track and watch that. Also, do you guys, you want to use our indicators, what we're using here. I don't have the other even indicator on right now, but you can see as well. Our volume custom indicators here. The link is down below. Lux Algo, code OD40 for 40% off. Make sure you check them out. But yeah, so that's where you're at. Netflix is interesting. It's a more expensive option contract. I'm not going to show it because some of you guys will be deterred. One name I mentioned to you guys was ARM, and I think ARM had a great move today, right? So let's go to the 15-minute. ARM is something that we've been talking about. We talked about the bull flag, bouncing off key levels, pushing up. I also mentioned this on Twitter if you're not following there. Fantastic, okay? And ARM contracts, if you're trying to trade a semiconductor, ARM is a cheaper option, kind of like AMD, but a little bit more volatile, smaller cap, okay? Great option. Like even like 2 weeks out, the monthly expirations here, they're not that expensive. These are up 81% on the day, 70. Huge moves on these, right? So again, you can trade these as well. A little bit of a cheaper option. Now I'm going to tell you right now though, these are more volatile. So if you want less volatility, able to kind of sit in your position a little bit longer and not worry, I'd be looking for something like July. Personal opinion there. Do what you got to do. Again, Tesla, not a huge fan here. You're just sitting at support. You need to break above at least like 180, 182. 182 would get me really, really happy there. But again, 194 is the real big breakout point you're looking for there. No reason to overcomplicate that either. Okay, so I want to make sure that's very clear and understood. Now, some of the other plays I've been mentioning, Lulu, Ulta, these are stock plays. So I'm just sitting here. I'm just watching these. That is all I care about. I'm not trading options. I'm sitting here waiting on these moves. These are stock plays for me. These are not option plays. Make sure you understand that Lulu has earnings on Wednesday, so I'll keep you guys posted and updated on that as well. Again, those are my favorite names of what I've been watching. There's no reason for me to overcomplicate, go into too many of these things. You had a dip on the day with NQ, but the biggest thing, the most exciting part of today, I'm telling you guys, and it's no one's talking about it. It's the OPEC meeting. Why? Again, you need to be asking yourself these questions if you're following these people. You're following random people, and it's not me down talking or talking bad about these people, okay? It's to make you think. That's the whole point of this, right? I want you guys to be and do the same thing with me. Like, why is Tyler not talking about this? Why? Ask me those questions, right? That's the whole point of me giving you Twitter so we can have communication, right? But I'm telling you, why is no one talking about OPEC? Why is no one talking about oil getting slammed and the impacts and positive impacts on inflation data? To me, it's perplexing. It's the most bullish thing out there right now. I would be watching this like a hawk. It is crazy to me. But yeah, big fan of what's happening here. DXY is telling you the whole story here. So is the 30-year yield dipping as well. Again, we obsess about futures when we need to obsess about the underlying movements that have been moving the market the entire time. I love Nasdaq, I love SPY, but sometimes you have to take a step back and look at the big picture if you want to make the big dollars. And that's the biggest thing here. Have a good one, traders. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Follow on Twitter, everything like that. Have a good one.